I am Grady Bailey. I'm a senior software engineer at the University of Texas at Austin. I'm also the authentication and directory services team lead here on our IAM team. I'm coming from my virtual base camp under the Battle Oaks here on campus. They're ancient oak trees, and it's well on its way to being 100 degrees here. So what a outstanding day. So I'm here to talk to you about the Trusted Access Platform and tapping into containers, getting started with those. Again, apologies that I'm going to kind of butcher this scrolling through the slides, technical issues, but we'll survive. So I'm going to start with basics of containers. What's a container? Container is a standard package of software, bundles together everything you need to run an application. I'm sure if you've seen in other presentations the basics of containers, you've seen little images like this. The key takeaway is a container takes all of your dependencies and bundles them with your application code. It doesn't rely on those being in the operating system and being consistent across all of your other apps. This allows you to run more things in one place, such as multiple applications with different dependencies on one machine. So why would you use containers? Well, they're easy to develop, they're very quick to iterate on, and they're more portable, so you can run them anywhere. Anywhere you have a container runtime, you can run a container. They're self-contained and they're isolated. And that makes them less resource intensive than a full virtual machine. You don't have to run, no more do you have to run a full virtual machine for your web server and for your directory server and for your identity provider. You could actually run all of those in containers on a single machine, which would greatly simplify your infrastructure in your deployment. Now, the Trusted Access Platform. What's the Trusted Access Platform? These are my words. So if anyone at InCommon wants to slap me on the hand and say that's not quite how we describe this, feel free to. But this is what I feel about the Trusted Access Platform. My description, it's a suite of IAM software curated, packaged, and distributed by InCommon. They're containerized, they're easily configurable IAM solutions. And this is the best description I can come up with for the Trusted Access Platform. It's the fastest way to ramp up on community-driven solutions to community-shared problems. So we all have the same problems in higher ed. They're at different scale. They might look slightly different. And so we can all have kind of the same solutions. So that means the Trusted Access Platform and the solutions inside of it, co-manage, grouper, midpoint, Shibboleth identity provider, service provider, the other little bits that exist in there, the Shibboleth config builder, co-manage has the registry and the match application. There's the IDP UI container. All of those things can serve all of us because we have all of the same problems, just maybe in slightly different scales, slightly different in appearance. So the Trusted Access Platform is a way to get those solutions easily. Why would you use them? You don't have to worry about dependencies anymore. You don't have to worry about, oh, I need to run grouper, and so I have to have this exact version of Java, or, oh no, we have to upgrade this version of Java, and that's not compatible with this, and now that's going to, destroy this other part. You package your Java inside a grouper, it's in grouper, you don't have to worry about it. Or any of the other dependencies that you need, those are packaged in the container. Don't have to worry about those. Also, InCommon is a reliable and trusted vendor to satisfy your stakeholders. I'm sure we've experienced skepticism when you're talking about open source software on your campus and folks worrying about security or reliability. InCommon and Internet 2 are reliable. They can serve as your vendor, and you can tell that to your campus stakeholders and say, look, it might be open source, but it's coming from a reliable place. It's great to use. Version updates are super easy with tap containers. You can roll them out incredibly fast. We do it in less than a day here when a new container is pushed. And again, community-driven solutions to community-shared problems. So how do you use them? That's the great question. I can't tell you exactly how to use them at your institution or your organization, but I can tell you how we've used them at UT Austin. So first thing I want to talk about is enterprise authentication. This is a service that we built to replace the primary authentication service for all of UT Austin. We had 3 different authentication services back in 2019, and we wanted to unify them all on one. We started in February 2019, selected that we were going to use the Shibboleth tap container, and we built it using on-prem virtual machines for Docker Swarm nodes with some failover in AWS. We went from development to testing to go live in 5 months. thanks in large part to the reliability and the speed with which we could develop in using these tap containers. We onboarded our customers into the service throughout most of 2020 and 2021, transitioned them from the legacy authentication services. And last year, we performed 51 million authentications. This is our bread and butter service, we like to call it. It's one of the most reliable services we've ever brought up. Our campus loves it. And that's in large part due to the reliability and the dependability of the Trusted Access Platform containers. We also use containers for our multi-factor authentication service. We use the Trusted Access Platform Shibboleth SP container to build our Duo self-registration portal. We build in the Duo's web SDK into the Shib SP container. We had to implement that in less than 3 weeks due to some various complicated things on our campus. And that was in May 2020. There may have been one or two other things going on in the world in May 2020. But we still managed to get this out in 3 weeks because of how quickly the tap containers allowed us to move. We also have a major project right now, IGA modernization. We're replacing our aging identity and group management solutions. For this, we joined the InCommon CSP. Can't recommend it enough. That's the Collaboration Success Program. We joined that in August 2021. We started building out our midpoint and grouper tap containers back in early 2022. And we're doing all of this in AWS. We're using the Elastic Kubernetes service, managed containers and orchestration in EKS. And that is well on its way to being a full solution. Our future plans, we're working on some potential guest identity services using co-manage and the tap container for that. We want to build a self-service interface to our enterprise authentication service so customers can manage their own metadata and integrations, possibly using the IDP UI container. And we want to migrate from Docker Swarm to Kubernetes for our container orchestration. So a quick recap, again, lightning fast. Use containers to simplify your deployments and move faster. Use the tap containers for reliable IAM solutions. These are community-driven solutions to community-shared problems. And I also can't recommend enough to leverage your resources. You've seen countless presentations already this week. You're going to see more. There are great InCommon training courses. That's where I got my experience with containers, was at the Shibboleth training course back in, I think, 2017 or 2018. The Collaboration Success Program is a great resource if you're able to join that in a future cohort. That just interacting with other peers that we all have, again, community shared problems, the InCommon Slack channels, your peers, just the working groups that were just mentioned a little bit ago, all the email lists, leverage these resources. We're all in the same boat in one way or another. I know we don't have a ton of time. We also don't have a duck race after this, but I wanted to contribute my own ducks here. If we have a brief moment for questions, if not, and we want to move ahead, that's fine. I'm going to be around at the as much as I can throughout the rest of the day, especially at the community fire pits at the end of the day. If you have any questions, then feel free to reach out to me. My email address and everything, contact information. I'm in the Slack. I'm happy to chat. If anyone has anything that they'd like to discuss. And that, I'm done. That was as lightning fast as I could make it.